Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. John Mulaney told Deadline, once I left detox, I started to think about the intervention. I called my friend Joe Manny to kind of get a handle on what had happened there, and he said it was extremely funny that I was giving notes on each person's letter after they read it, and I told him after the intervention how I ranked the speeches. He helped me see how the dynamic was funny right away. Mulaney said he was intrigued to see that some people consider the special to be dark. It's digested as darker than I thought, and that sounds odd, I know, because of the subject matter, but my goal was to present this as funny as possible with no dramatic pauses. I wanted it to be a joke-driven special about something that's complex and sad and a little scary, but has a ton of very specific details. That's what I wanted to get across. People might go, this is harder, sadder, darker, disturbing. I really am flattered and happy that's been reviewed and discussed. That's what I like the most, is that people talked about it. They asked him about his suit. Was it fuchsia? Mulaney said, well, let me look up fuchsia, because I'm not a great color person. Fuchsia is a vivid pinkish purplish red color named after the color of the flower, the fuchsia plant. Okay, so we have the suit, and then we have the color correct, and then we have your own screen. So I don't know. I'm not going to say you didn't experience fuchsia. You might have. I don't know your color settings. It's like a lighter burgundy. I really love that suit. I got it in England, this place called, well, I won't say where in case they don't want me sharing this, but they make King Charles pajamas, and he really likes bright colored jammies. He goes to bed looking like a big bowl of fruit. They asked him about divorce jokes, and Mulaney said, just wasn't something I was going to get into. Very short answer there. But I respect that. Deadline followed that up with, there's another great joke in your special about how, even as an addict, you look better than so many people because of your athletic build, and you look great. And Mulaney said, well, I've never had anyone, let alone a journalist, say that I have an athletic build, so I can't thank you enough for that. And congratulations on being the first person ever to say that. I'm walking on air right now. It was mid-pandemic when a lot of people had put on some weight and a lot of people were home, and I was out. So I was just dressed up a little and had remained svelte through pretty unhealthy means. Everyone there was adorable in their own way. There was more kidding that they looked like crap. Good stuff, as always, from Jason Zinnemann in the New York Times. He was writing about Netflix's effect on comedy and said, it's unclear how much the streaming service, known for specials by bold-faced names like Mulaney and Adam Sandler, cares about minting stars. That's why Netflix's Verified is important. It's 2 showcases, each about an hour, featuring emerging comics doing short sets. There's a promising precedent. Back in 2018, Netflix aired the comedy lineup, which was Relative Unknowns doing 15 minutes. From that group, 3 of them were Taylor Tomlinson, Michelle Buteau, and Sam Jay. You know those names. Tim Dillon was another one. And another's been a head writer and sidekick on Late Night, specifically James Corden's Ian Carmel. Comedy lineup didn't vault these performers to fame, but it helped, and in retrospect, the selection of the entire group, which also included Jack Knight, Phil Wang, and Sabrina Jalys, what a great collection of comedians, reflected foresight and taste. The artists in the new showcases are not exactly newcomers. There's Dulce Sloan from The Daily Show, Nimesh Patel, Leslie Lau, Rosebud Baker, who I feel is like kind of known. Maybe I just do this podcast every day and most people don't know Rosebud Baker. I know Gianmarco Ceresi, who I'm a big fan of, is part of this. Let's see. Zinnemann writes, Patel takes a leisurely pace, mixing crowd work and topical jokes, including some solid roasting of Vivek Ramaswamy. Patel makes it seem like a casual offhand another night at the club. Dulce Sloan may adjust to the form best because she starts quickly, ends abruptly, and sticks to a couple non-topical subjects, including a bit about the benefits of dating a poor man. One of the revelations for Jason Zinnemann was Sabrina Wu, who barrels into jokes with a nervous energy, then exploits it. This is making me want to watch this tonight. I haven't gotten around to it yet. There's so much football. I watch football on Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night. Wednesday night, I go to trivia. It only leaves 3 nights, and I have to play video games 1 night. Sabrina Wu barrels into jokes with a nervous energy, then exploits it. Wu's standout bit, spoilers, involves talking trash about Amanda Gorman, the former National Youth Poet Laureate, at a contest early in her career, then describing the futility of a rivalry with her. Gianmarco Ceresi jokes, spoilers. I just feel if white people would stop complaining all the time about cancel culture and actually fought for racial equality, then all of us could do the Chinese accent again. Louis Katz, a bald, filthy veteran comic with slingshot punchlines, opens his new release special Present Tense with better-known comics explaining why he never became famous. Nate Bargatze says he's too dirty. Mark Maron points to his hairline. David Tell blames personality. And David Drake begins his latest YouTube special with a pointed joke that is the ring of truth. Here's how you make it in this business. Have a famous dad. 800-Pound Gorilla wrote about Gianmarco and asked him how he picked the 10 minutes that he used in the showcase I just discussed. Gianmarco said the biggest chunk of the set came from a never-aired Don't Tell comedy set I did earlier this year. Never aired because it bombed. I tried doing all my gun show material to open the set. Not to blame LA audiences, but let's just say it went so badly I called my girlfriend the next day at 6 a.m. from the Delta Lounge weeping. Henry Winkler was also there, but thankfully, I don't think he noticed me. But I loved that bit, and I wanted to get it out there before gun violence in America stopped being a thing. Did you know who was going to be part of Verified before the taping? Who were you looking forward to sharing the stage with? Gianmarco said, I'm still not sure who was there, but I walked away being a bigger fan of Jay Jordan, who opened both tapings with his signature joke-dense act that fully prepared the audience for stand-up comedy. He discussed filming it at Webster Hall and said, fortunately, the team for this taping partially curated the audience from people who were fans of comics in the lineup. This probably meant there were a disproportional number of Nimesh Patel fans there, but luckily they and everyone else came to laugh. Kathy Griffin spoke to Variety about buying back her own material. Kathy said, it makes me very excited for my legacy when I croak. I have a theory that when I'm dead, I'm going to get a lot of props. I almost can't wait. I think once I croak, I'm going to get one of those docuseries and maybe Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen will cry. New Year's Eve can be a whole in memoriam, and anybody who screwed me over will feel guilty. Can you see what a healthy person I am? I hadn't watched My Life on the D-List since it aired. I only rewatched episode 1 recently. I'm so thrilled when people mention that show or said they'd watch it with friends or their family. I've had a lot of guys be like, I came out because of your show. My mom and I would watch it together. I'm so proud because that was a show that was really real. We overshot the stuff out of it. It was 8 episodes a year and we would film for 6 months. They just followed me around and hoped I did funny stuff. I think maybe people miss it because they know that good, bad, or indifferent, it was all genuine. What advice, Kathy, would you give to new comics being approached to do specials? Kathy said, I would tell them the best thing you can do is get licensing money, which is very difficult. After doing specials at Bravo for many years, I finally got them to just give me a sum of money, and then I got to choose the production company and do the budget. That's probably why I have so many enemies in the executive world, because that's how the guys do it. I thought I earned a place to be able to have that kind of power, but I'm sad to say it's always tricky when you're a chick, so I'm thrilled that I have ownership. It's hard because a lot of the dudes that sign the checks, if they're not a fan, you're kind of screwed. So if you can do your own stuff, do it. Or can do it super cheap all yourself, that's the way to do it. Because then you give a buyer the product and go, this is what I do. Do you want it or not? And if not, young people are much more enterprising than I am about social media. I'm sitting here at 63, still working hard, trying to be a TikToker. Today, my San Francisco 49ers take on the Seattle Seahawks. Will Ferrell has some advice for the Seahawks.
I'd say, guys, we're going to punt on third down every series. And we're just going to we're not going to control the ball. Let's not worry about it. I don't know what you do about the 49ers. Right?
Variety spoke to Marlon Wayans about cancel culture. Marlon said, I'm as much a comedian as I am a black man. I'm always going to protect comedians. Dave Chappelle's a dear friend. I love him to death, and I have a trans son. I could give him my opinions, but he has every right to feel how he wants. Me as a parent, when I do my special, I'll handle it differently. In that same article, Tom Segura said, people in entertainment still see stand-up as the lowest rung, like we're effing circus jugglers. Listen, Meryl Streep would crap her pants if she had to do stand-up. Segura argued that the outrage that infests social media doesn't reflect what he's seeing on the road. He said, go to the clubs. You see somebody go for the joke and you can't describe it. It pops. Audiences go nuts. They're looking for people to make these jokes. It's like there's two realities. Some people believe the reality online is real. It's not the real world. Matt Rife said it comes down to your objective. What's your intention in saying some reckless stuff right now? Are you trying to upset somebody? Are you trying to make light of certain subjects? He said all this before the recent controversies. It's a weekend. I've held on to the story for a couple weeks. That way, it doesn't take up such negative space in someone's mind, and they can laugh about something that may have brought them so much grief and discomfort. If audiences can tell you're coming from a good place, he says sensitivity isn't an issue. Audiences can sense intent. The reason comics can get away with saying some crazy stuff is because the audience knows who you are. That has aged well, hasn't it? And that's your comedy news for today. If you enjoy the show, tell a friend about it. Maybe they'll like it too. And I can get one extra download. That'd be pretty groovy. If you'd like to support the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/dailycomedynews. I'll take your money and I might drive past the National Donuts chain and I'll go to the smoothie chain that I've been hitting almost every day lately. And those are like $8. Whew. See you tomorrow.